Beloved brothers and sisters, how prepared are you for what is coming in the few days that we have from now? Based on what is to happen is just few days away, and what is even more disturbing is the assurance of the manifestation of this event. Don't be taken unaware, beloved. Save yourself and your family from this disaster that is about to happen by watching this video to the end and have a revelation of how to get ready and remain secure. Tell us where you are watching from so that we can include you on our prayer watch list and intercede for you over that challenge. I will begin reading this experience. I am sitting here right now, and I have to be honest with you, I am still shaking. My hands are trembling as I type this. I cannot sleep, I cannot eat, I can barely focus on anything. 5 days ago, something happened to me that changed everything. I wish and honestly pray someone listened to this warning. Everything that I knew before does not matter anymore. But before I tell you about 5 days ago, I need to tell you about what happened 1 month ago. I need to tell you about the day I died. I need to tell you about the day that God took me out of my body and showed me things that no human should ever have to see. My name. Well, I cannot tell you my name. I cannot tell you who I am. I cannot describe what I look like or where I came from or what my background is. The Lord made this very clear to me, and I know this might sound strange to you. I know you might be thinking right now that I am crazy or that this is some kind of joke. I know you might be thinking that I am making this up for attention or for money or for some other reason. But I promise you, I am not. I am telling you the truth, and I am begging you to listen. I know this might sound strange to you, but please just hear me out. Just listen to what I am about to share with you. Take the time to watch this from beginning to end. Do not skip around. Do not just watch the parts that interest you. Watch all of it because every part is important. My life depends on it. My family depends on it. My 4 kids and my wife, they are depending on me keeping silent about my identity. And when you understand what I saw, when you understand what God showed me about what is coming, you will understand why I have to hide my face and my name from the world. I am a Navy SEAL officer. That is the only thing I can tell you about who I am. I have served my country for many years. That day I had this experience. I made plans to go to an event that day, an important event, a confidential event. I cannot tell you what this event was or where it was happening or who was going to be there because I was asked by important people to keep that confidential. I still respect that request even now. Even after everything that has happened, even after I died and came back to life, I can only tell you that I was not in my military uniform. I was not going to any military installation or any military event. I was dressed in regular clothes, just like any other person you would see walking down the street in Los Angeles or anywhere else in America. And then everything changed. Everything happened so fast. I did not see it coming. I was hit by another vehicle. The crash was severe, very severe. I did not see the car coming. One moment I was driving, and the next moment there was an explosion of sound and pain and movement. I remember the sound of metal hitting metal. I remember the terrible sound of the impact. It was loud and violent and terrifying. I remember the feeling of my body being thrown. I was thrown around like a piece of paper. My car was hit so hard that it was knocked off the road. I remember the feeling of my car spinning. I remember the feeling of my body crashing into things inside the car. I remember glass breaking. I remember the smell of burning rubber and gasoline. I remember thinking that this was it. This was the end. I was going to die. And then everything went black. Everything went completely dark. I could not see anything. I could not hear anything. I could not feel anything. That was the moment that I died. That was the moment that my physical life ended. That was the moment that everything I thought I knew about life and death changed forever. When I woke up, I was not in a hospital. I was not lying on the ground in the street. I was not in the ambulance. I was standing in a place that I have no words to describe. I have tried many times to explain what this place looked like, but I do not have the words. There is no language that can describe what I saw. I was in the presence of beings. There were so many of them. I do not know how many. Hundreds, thousands, maybe more than that. I could not count them. They were all around me. They were all around me everywhere. I looked in every direction and they were there. These were angels. I knew this instantly. I did not have to be told. I did not have to guess. I just knew. The knowledge was just there in my mind. These were angels of the Lord. They were worshiping. Every single one of them was bowing down. Every single one of them was facing towards something, towards someone. And I knew without any doubt that they were worshiping before the throne of God. They were not singing. They were not making any noise. They were just bowing down in complete silence. But the power of their worship was overwhelming. The reverence, the honor, the love. It was so powerful that I could feel it. I could feel the weight of their worship. I could feel the importance of what was happening. I tried to look at the throne. I tried to see the one who was sitting on the throne. I tried to see God, but I could not. There was a light, a brightness that was so intense that my eyes could not look at it. I tried to open my eyes and look, and the light was so bright that it was painful. It was not the brightness of the sun. I have seen the sun many times. I have been in deserts where the sun is blazing, and I have never seen anything like this light. This was not anything like the light on earth. This light was alive. It was moving. I do not even have the words. It was pure, it was holy, it was perfect, it was so bright and so powerful that I felt like I was being burned by it. Not burned with fire like fire from a flame, burned with something else, something that was reaching into my very soul and burning away everything that was not pure and holy and true. I was standing there and I felt so small, I felt so insignificant, I felt like nothing. I have been trained as a soldier, I have stood up to powerful men, I have faced death before. I have been in situations where I thought I was going to die, but in that moment I realized that all of my training meant nothing. All of my strength meant nothing. All of my confidence and my pride and my ego meant absolutely nothing compared to this. I was nothing compared to this. I was less than nothing. I was like dust. I was like a particle of dust blowing in the wind. I could not do anything. I could not fight. I could not run. I could not hide. I had no power. I had no strength. I had nothing. I fell down. I dropped to my knees and I fell down on my face. And when I fell down, I could not help it. I had no choice. I was compelled by a power that was greater than anything I had ever experienced. This power was so overwhelming that my body just dropped to the ground. I could not stand. I could not even kneel. I had to lie down on my face. I pressed myself against the ground. I was trembling. Every part of my body was shaking. As I was lying there on the ground with my face down, I felt something. I felt a hand. A hand touched my shoulder. It was gentle, but it was powerful. It was full of authority and full of love at the same time. It was the kindest touch, but also the most powerful touch that I had ever felt. When that hand touched me, I felt something change inside of me. I felt something shift in spirit. I felt something breaking and something being healed at the same time. I stood up. I raised my head. And when I looked up, I did not need anyone to tell me who it was. I did not have to guess. I just knew. The knowledge was just there in my mind. It was Jesus. It was Christ himself. It was the Son of God. I cannot describe what I saw when I looked at him. There are no words in English that can describe it. There are no words in any language that I know. He was not like the pictures. He was not like what you see in the churches or in the paintings that hang on the walls. Those pictures are wrong. They are so far from what he really looks like. They are like someone tried to paint a picture of the sun using only gray paint. You cannot describe the sun with gray paint. His beauty was overwhelming. His presence was so powerful that I felt like my heart was going to stop. He was wearing robes that were shining. The white was so bright that it was hard to look at. His eyes were looking at me with so much love that I could not bear it. I had to look away, but I could not turn away from him either. It was like my eyes were drawn to him, even though I could not bear to look at him. He did not speak to me in words that I could hear with my ears. He communicated with me directly. He revealed things to me about myself and about my purpose and about why I was there. He showed me that I had been given a gift. He showed me that my life was going to be spared. He showed me that I was not supposed to stay dead. I was supposed to go back, but he also showed me that I was being sent back for a reason. He told me that I had been chosen to deliver a message. He made it very clear to me that this message was not my message. This was his message. This was God's message. And he made it clear that this message was going to be dangerous to deliver. This message was going to put me in danger. This message was going to threaten powerful people who do not want the truth to come out. He revealed to me that there are evil forces in this world. Powerful evil forces. Forces that do not want this message to get out. He told me that when people hear what I am about to tell you, when they understand what is coming, they will try to find me. They will try to track me down. They will try to silence me. They will try to kill me. And he told me that is why I must keep my identity hidden. He told me that is why I must protect my family. He told me that they must never know where I am or who I am because my enemies will try to use them to get to me. They will try to hurt my family to get to me. They will use my wife and my children as leverage to try to force me to stop talking about this. And he made me promise that I would not let that happen. I promised him that I would keep my identity secret so that my family would be safe. I remember asking him a question. I was confused about what he was showing me. I asked him how much time we have. I asked him when these things that he was about to show me were going to happen. I asked him when this plague and this contamination would be released. I asked him how long we have to prepare. And instead of answering me with words, he showed me something. He revealed to me what looked like a clock, but this was not a normal clock. There were no numbers on it except for one. On that clock, there was only one number, 3. 3 in the morning. That was all that was on the clock, just the number 3. Just the time 3 in the morning. I did not understand. I looked at him with confusion in my eyes. I was trying to understand what he meant. I was trying to figure out what the connection was between the number 3 in the morning and whatever he was about to show me. And he revealed to me that he would show me what this meant. He told me that I would understand. He told me that I would see it. He showed me that I would understand through a vision. He showed me that the answer to my question would not be given in words, but would be shown to me in what I would see. Then Jesus showed me something else. He revealed to me about the power of 3 in the morning. He took me into a vision. I do not know how to explain what happened. One moment I was standing before the throne of God, And the next moment I was being shown images. I was being shown what was happening in homes across America. In this vision, I could see homes. I could see houses in cities and towns and rural areas all across America. I could see into these homes. I could see what was happening inside. In some of these homes, there were people awake at 3 in the morning. These people were not sleeping. These people were on their knees in prayer. They were in their bedrooms or in their living rooms on their knees praying. They were calling out to God. They were seeking His face. They were interceding for their nation. And when I looked at these houses, I could see something around them. There was light. There was a wall of protection around these homes. It was like a shield, an invisible shield that was surrounding these houses and these people who were praying. The light was like the light from the throne of God. It was bright and pure and holy. And I could see that nothing evil could get through this shield. No darkness could penetrate it. But then He showed me other homes. In these homes, people were sleeping. There were no people awake at 3 in the morning. There were no people praying. There were no people calling out to God. The people in these homes were sleeping peacefully. They did not know what was happening around them. They did not know about the spiritual battle that was happening right outside their doors. And around these homes, I could see something different. I could see darkness. I could see movement in the darkness. I could see spirits moving around these homes. I could see demons, evil spirits. They were circling around these houses like wolves circling around sheep. They were looking for a way to get in. They were looking for openings. They were looking for ways to bring sickness and death and destruction into these homes. They were looking for ways to harm the families inside. The difference was so clear, so obvious, so striking. In the homes where people were praying at 3 in the morning, there was protection. There was light. There were angels standing guard. There was a shield of protection that surrounded everything. But in the homes where there was no prayer at 3 in the morning, there was no protection. There was no light. There was only darkness and evil spirits moving around looking for ways to get in and cause harm. Jesus revealed to me that this was spiritual warfare. He showed me that there is a real battle happening, a battle that most people do not understand, a battle that most people do not even know is happening. He showed me that the power of prayer at 3 in the morning is real. He showed me that this is not just a religious belief or a tradition or something that sounds nice. He showed me that those who take advantage of this hour, those who use this hour to call out to God and seek His face, they will have protection, they will have victory. They will command results in the spiritual realm that will protect them and their families. They will have shield of angels around them. They will have the light of God surrounding them. But those who ignore this hour, those who sleep through this hour without calling out to God, they will be vulnerable. They will be unprotected. They will be left open to the attacks of evil. And then the vision changed. The vision about 3 in the morning ended, and Jesus showed me something else. He revealed to me what is coming. And this is why I am so disturbed right now. This is why I cannot sleep. This is why I cannot eat. This is why my hands are shaking as I write this. This is why I am risking my life to tell you this. He showed me what looked like a scroll. It was rolled up like the scrolls in the Bible. As I was looking at this scroll, it began to open. And as it opened, it became alive. It became a vision, a living, moving vision of things to come, a revelation of what is going to happen. And what I saw in that vision was terrifying. It was so terrifying that I wept. I fell down and I wept. I saw something. It looked like rats. But these were not normal rats. These were not the rats that you see in the sewers or the walls of houses. These were created in a laboratory. These were genetically made. Someone with evil intentions took the DNA of rats and they changed them. They modified them. They made them different. They made them into something else, something more dangerous, something more deadly. And these rats were being created for one specific purpose. They had one mission. That mission was to spread contamination. That mission was to spread sickness. That mission was to spread death. Jesus revealed to me that these genetically made rats are being prepared right now. They are being created right now in secret laboratories by people with evil intentions. And soon, very soon, they are going to be released. They are going to be released in homes. They are going to be released in stores. They are going to be released on streets and in public places. They are going to be released everywhere. And when they are released, they are going to do what they were made to do. They are going to spread a sickness, a plague, a contamination that was injected into them and produced in them. This is not a natural sickness. This is not a disease that happened by chance or by accident. This is something that was deliberately created and deliberately injected into these rats so that they would spread it. The people who receive this contamination will not know what is happening to them at first. They will not understand that they have been exposed to something. They will just feel sick. They will think they have a normal sickness, a cold or the flu or some kind of virus. But this is not a normal sickness. This is something that was made in a laboratory by people with evil intentions. This is something that was designed to kill. Jesus also showed me something called QPB. I do not know what this means. I do not know what this stands for. I do not know if it is an acronym or a code name or something else. He did not explain to me what it is, but he showed me that this is connected to what is coming. This is part of the plan. This is part of what the evil ones are planning to release. This is important, and I am supposed to tell you about it. I am supposed to put this name out there so that if you hear about it, if you see this name QPB, you will remember. You will know that I warned you. You will know that I tried to tell you what was coming. As I was watching all of this in the vision, I saw something else. I saw that this contamination was going to spread through certain areas of America. It was going to affect certain locations more than other locations. Jesus showed me that it would happen slowly. It would not happen all at once. It would not be like someone setting off a bomb where everyone gets sick at the same time. It would spread gradually. It would happen slowly over a period of time. People would start to get sick in small numbers. Just a few people here and there. Then more people would get sick. Then even more people would get sick. The numbers would grow. The spread would accelerate. It would happen in waves. It would be like watching a wave moving across the ocean, getting bigger and bigger as it moves. And because nobody would know what this sickness was, nobody would understand what was happening. The doctors would not know what to do. The hospitals would fill up with people who were sick. People would be coming in with symptoms that the doctors had never seen before. The symptoms would be unusual. The symptoms would not match any disease that doctors know about. The doctors would try to treat them with normal medicines, but the medicines would not work. The antibiotics would not help. The antivirals would not help. Nothing would help. And people would start to die. Slowly at first, then more and more people would die. The death toll would grow, and still, the government would not know what was happening. Still, nobody would understand. Still, there would be no explanation for why people were getting sick and dying. It would be a mystery, a terrible, deadly mystery. Jesus showed me 3 specific locations where this would happen first. He showed me that it would begin in certain cities and certain areas, and from there it would spread to other places. I saw Los Angeles. I saw it very clearly. This is where I live, and I saw this city being affected by this plague. I saw New York. I saw it being affected as well. These are major cities with millions of people. And I saw another major city, but I cannot tell you which one because it was made very clear to me that I should not reveal this. The Lord told me to speak about certain things, but he also told me to be silent about certain things. And the exact locations where this will start, the exact cities that will be affected first, I am being asked to stay quiet about that. But know this, it is coming to America. It is coming to major population centers. It is coming to places where many people live. It will not affect just one small town or one rural area. It will affect cities. It will affect populated areas. As I was watching all of this unfold in the vision, I was crying, I was weeping, I was crying so hard that I could not breathe. Because Jesus showed me something about the people who would be affected. He showed me that this contamination would not discriminate. It would not care about age or gender or race or religion or anything like that. It would affect everyone. It would affect children, little children who have done nothing wrong. Children who are innocent. It would affect women, mothers and daughters and sisters. It would affect men, fathers and brothers and sons. It would affect the old and the young. It would affect the rich and the poor. It would affect people in every social class and every walk of life. It was made to destroy everyone. I was crying because I could see the faces. I could see the families. I could see the children who would die. I could see the mothers who would lose their children. I could see the fathers who would lose their families. The pain was so intense. The grief was so overwhelming. And I was there in the vision, and I was weeping. I was unable to stop the tears from flowing down my face. I was sobbing. I was making sounds like an animal in pain. But then, as I was crying and weeping, Jesus showed me something else. He revealed to me a bow. It was a bow, like a rainbow. But this was different from a normal rainbow. I know what rainbows look like. I have seen many rainbows. But this was different. This bow was full of water. Water was filling it up from the bottom, and the water was rising higher and higher. And the water was overflowing. It was overflowing from the bow, and it was pouring down like rain. It was pouring down on the earth. It was pouring down everywhere. Jesus revealed to me that this water represents his mercy. He showed me that in the days when this plague is going on, when this contamination is spreading and people are dying, his mercy will be available. His grace will be there. His love will be there. And anyone who calls out to him, anyone who seeks his face during that time, they will be covered by his mercy. The water will overflow upon them. His grace will save them and protect them. His love will shield them. But there is something else that he showed me, something that is very important. He showed me about time. He revealed to me that when this begins, believers, those of us who follow Jesus Christ, we will only have 3 days. 3 days, that is all. 3 days to prepare. 3 days to seek the face of God. 3 days to repent and to pray and to ask for his protection. 3 days. Jesus made this very clear to me. He emphasized it over and over. He said that when it begins, when people start to recognize what is happening and the news starts to report about it and the world starts to understand that something is wrong, that is when the 3 days will begin. That is when believers will have only 3 days to get into a place of prayer and seeking. 3 days to call out to God and ask for his mercy and his protection. He showed me the number 3 again and again. He kept repeating it. 3, 3, 3, 3 days. Not 3 weeks, not 3 months. 3 days. When you hear that something is happening, when you see it on the news, when you understand that what I am telling you about is actually beginning, you will have 3 days. 3 days only. 3 days to repent and to pray and to seek God's face with everything that you have. And then Jesus revealed to me something about prayer. He showed me about the need for intercessors. He told me that there are people in this world who have been called to pray, people who have been called to intercede, people who have been called to stand in the gap and pray for others, people who understand the power of prayer. And he revealed to me that if enough intercessors rise up and pray, if enough people begin to call out to God at 3 in the morning and during the day, if enough believers start to fast and pray and seek God's face with all of their heart, it is possible that what I saw could be averted. It is possible that this plague could be stopped. Jesus did not say that it would definitely be averted. He did not promise me that this would not happen, but he showed me that there is power in prayer. He showed me that the prayers of righteous people, the intercession of those who stand in the gap, it can make a difference. It can change things. It can turn back the plans of evil. It can prevent disaster. And so I need to tell you this. This is why I am coming forward. This is why I am risking my safety and the safety of my family to tell you this. I am telling you because I need you to understand something very important. I am telling you because I need you to know that if you are a believer, if you follow Jesus Christ, you need to start praying at 3 in the morning. You need to intercede for your country. You need to stand in the gap. You need to call out to God and ask him to stop this. Ask him to protect our country. Ask him to turn back the plans of the evil one. The scripture says that we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers. The battle is not just in the physical world. The battle is in the spiritual realm. And in the spiritual realm, prayer is the most powerful weapon we have. Prayer is how we fight. Prayer is how we win. So I am begging you, please, I am begging you to take this seriously. Do not just read this and move on with your life like nothing happened. Do not just share this with a few people and forget about it. Actually do something. Actually start praying. Actually seek God's face. Actually call out to him and ask him to protect our nation. And I want to tell you something else. I want to tell you about what happened after I saw all of this. After Jesus showed me all of these things about the plague and the contamination and the 3 days of prayer, I came back. I came back to my body. I came back from that place. The vision ended. And suddenly I was back. I was lying there on the ground in the middle of the street. The paramedics were there working on me. The police were there. The fire department was there. People were everywhere. I was dying. My body was shutting down. My heart was barely beating. My breathing was shallow. My body was broken. People were working desperately to try to save my life. They were doing CPR. They were pushing on my chest, trying to get my heart to beat. They were putting tubes in my mouth and down my throat. They were doing everything they could to keep me alive. And then suddenly something changed. My heart started beating again. My body started responding. My eyes opened. The paramedics were shocked. They could not believe that I was alive. They thought I was gone. They thought I was dead. They had probably given up. But I was not. God brought me back. I spent weeks in the hospital recovering from my injuries. The doctors told my family that I was lucky to be alive. They told me that I should not have survived. They said that based on the injuries I had, based on how long I was without oxygen, based on how damaged my body was, I should have died at the scene. There was no medical reason for me to be alive. It was a miracle. God brought me back, and for the past month, I kept this to myself. I did not tell anyone except for my wife and a few very close people who I trust completely. I kept this quiet because I was trying to process what had happened. I was trying to understand what God was telling me. I was trying to figure out what I was supposed to do with this information. I was afraid. I was scared of what might happen if I said anything. I was scared of what people would think. I was scared of the consequences. I would wake up in the middle of the night and remember what I saw. I would see the image of the contaminated rats in my mind. I would see the vision of people getting sick and dying. I would see the faces of the children who would lose their lives. I could not sleep. I could barely function. My wife could see that something was very wrong. She kept asking me what was happening with me, but I could not tell her everything. I was still processing it myself. I started reading the Bible more. I started seeking God in prayer. I started going to church and listening to messages about the end times and about spiritual warfare. Everything that I heard seemed to connect to what I had been shown. It was like God was confirming everything through the preaching and through the Bible and through other sources. But I was also terrified. I was terrified of what was coming. I was terrified of what I had been told to do. I was terrified of the danger that I would face. I was terrified of what might happen to my family, and so I kept waiting. I kept waiting for something that would make it clear what I should do. I kept waiting for another sign from God that would make it unmistakably clear that I needed to go public with this message. But then, 5 days ago, something happened that made everything clear. 5 days ago, God gave me another encounter. 5 days ago, Jesus appeared to me again. And this time, he made it clear what I needed to do. I was in my home. I was in my room. It was late at night. I was praying and seeking God's face, just like he had shown me in the vision. And suddenly, I felt his presence. Not like before. Before, when I died, it was overwhelming and powerful, and I was surrounded by hundreds and thousands of angels. This time was different. This time was more quiet, more intimate, more personal. And Jesus was there. He was standing in my room. I could see him. He was there. And he looked at me, and he revealed to me that everything I saw was real. Everything I saw will come to pass. He did not say that maybe it would happen or that it might happen. He said that it will happen. He made it absolutely clear that what I saw in the vision will come to reality. And then he told me that it was time for me to share this. It was time for me to come forward and tell the world what I had seen. It was time for me to reveal what God had shown me so that people could prepare, so that people could pray, so that believers could intercede and stand in the gap. He also made it clear to me that the evil forces, the ones who are behind this plan, they are going to want to find me when they hear about this testimony. He told me that revealing this message will make me a target. He told me that there are people who do not want this information to get out. Powerful people, evil people. And he told me that is why I must keep my identity secret. So now you know who I am, or rather you know who I am not. You know that I am a Navy SEAL officer. You know that I live in Los Angeles. You know that I have a wife and 4 children. You know that I died and God brought me back for a purpose. But you do not know my name. You do not know what I look like. You do not know where I work or who my family is or any other details about my life. And that is how it has to be. That is how it must remain. This is the price of getting this message out, and I am asking you now. I am begging you now. Please take what I have shared with you seriously. Please understand that this is not a game. This is not something to joke about. This is not entertainment or a story to pass the time. This is a real message from God about real things that are coming. This is about life and death. This is about the survival of people you love. I know that there will be people who read this and who will think that I am crazy. I know that there will be people who will dismiss this as the ramblings of a person who has lost their mind. I know that there will be people who will make fun of me and laugh at me. I understand. I would probably think the same thing if I was hearing this from someone else. But I have stood before the throne of God. I have looked into the eyes of Jesus Christ. I have seen things that cannot be denied or explained away. I have seen the reality of the spiritual world. I have seen that there is more to this life than what we can see with our physical eyes. I have seen that there is a battle happening right now between good and evil, between God and Satan, between light and darkness. And I am telling you this not because I want attention or because I want to become famous or because I want money. I am telling you this because I have been sent to tell you. I have been given a message and I have been asked to deliver it. And I am delivering it at great personal cost and at great risk to my family. Start praying at 3 in the morning. If you have never done this before, start now, tonight. Wake up at 3 in the morning and spend time in prayer. Call out to God, seek his face, intercede for your nation. Pray for protection over your family. Pray for protection over your loved ones. Pray that God will raise up enough intercessors to stop what is coming. Tell other believers what I have shared. Spread this message. Help people understand that they need to pray. Help people understand that they need to seek God. Help people understand that there is a spiritual battle happening right now. And prayer is the weapon that we have been given to fight in this battle. And if you do not yet follow Jesus Christ, if you do not know him as your Savior, please consider what I am telling you. Please consider what I have seen. I have stood before the throne of God. I have seen Jesus in his glory. I have seen the angels worshiping. I know that what I saw is real. I know that God is real. I know that Jesus Christ is the only way to salvation. So please turn to him. Ask him to forgive your sins. Ask him to come into your life. Ask him to be your Lord and your Savior. Because when this happens, when the plague starts and the contamination spreads, you are going to want to know Jesus. You are going to want to have his protection. You are going to want to have his mercy covering you. I know that my life will never be the same. I know that I can never go back to the way things were before. I died and God brought me back, and I have been forever changed by what I saw. I have been forever changed by standing before the throne of God. I have been forever changed by looking into the eyes of Jesus Christ. And I am willing to live the rest of my life in hiding if that is what it takes to get this message out. I am willing to give up my name, my identity, my comfort, my security, everything, so that you can know what is coming and you can prepare. So now you know. The message has been delivered. God has sent me back to warn you. And now it is up to you what you do with this information. It is up to you whether you will take it seriously or whether you will dismiss it. It is up to you whether you will pray or whether you will sleep. It is up to you whether you will seek God or whether you will ignore his call. But I know this. I know that the time is short. I know that what I saw will come to pass. I know that there are only 3 days from the time it begins to seek God's mercy and protection. I know that intercessors need to rise up now and begin to pray. I know that believers need to wake up to the reality of the spiritual battle that is happening around them. And I know that you have been warned. I know that I have done what God has asked me to do. I have come forward despite the danger. I have shared what I have seen despite the risk to my family. And now the message is out there. Now you know. Now you cannot say that you were not warned. The time to pray is now. The time to seek God is now. The time to intercede and stand in the gap is now. Do not wait. Do not put this off. Do not think that you can deal with this later. Now is the time. Right now. This very moment. This is when you need to turn to God and ask Him to prepare you and protect you for what is coming. I am a Navy SEAL officer. I have been trained to face danger. I have been trained to survive impossible situations. I have been trained to think clearly when everything around me is chaos. But none of my training could have prepared me for what I saw. None of my training could have prepared me for the reality of God's throne room or the presence of Jesus Christ or the revelation of things to come. And if I, with all of my training and all of my experience, need the protection of God, then you need it too. We all need it. We all need His mercy. We all need His protection. We all need His grace. No one is strong enough to face what is coming without God. No one. So please, take this seriously. Pray, seek God, intercede, stand in the gap, help others understand what is coming. Tell them to pray at 3 a.m. Tell them about the spiritual protection that comes from prayer. Tell them about the 3 days when this begins. Tell them that they need to call out to God with everything they have. The message has been given. The warning has been delivered. Now what happens next is up to you. Now what happens next is up to all of us who follow Jesus Christ. Now what happens next depends on whether we will rise up and pray or whether we will sleep. But I know this. I have seen the throne of God. I have seen Jesus in His glory. I have seen the future. And I know that God's mercy is available. I know that His grace is sufficient. I know that if we call out to Him, if we seek Him, if we intercede with all of our heart, He will respond. So do not lose hope. Do not give up. Do not think that the situation is hopeless or that there is nothing we can do. There is something we can do. We can pray. We can seek God. We can intercede. We can stand in the gap. And that is powerful. That is real. That matters. The time is now. The call is here. God is asking you to pray. God is asking you to seek Him. God is asking you to intercede. Will you answer the call? Will you rise up? Will you pray? This is the message that God has given to me. This is what I have been called to share. This is the warning that I have been sent to deliver. And now you know. May God give you wisdom. May God give you courage. May God give you a heart that will seek Him with all that you have. The message is complete. The warning has been delivered. Now what you do with this information is between you and God. I want to make something very clear right now. I want to be very specific about what I have been told. I have been told that when this contamination is released, people are going to die. Many people, thousands of people, maybe more than that. This is not a possibility. This is not something that might happen. This is something that will happen. But there is hope. There is always hope when God is involved. There is always a way forward when people turn to God in prayer. The Lord has shown me that if enough believers rise up and intercede, if enough people call out to God at 3 a.m, if enough intercessors stand in the gap, the timeline can change. The severity can be reduced. Lives can be saved. I know that this sounds extreme. I know that this sounds like something that could not possibly be true, but I have been to the throne of God. I have stood in the presence of Christ. I have seen the future, and I am telling you what I saw. I also want to say something about fear. Do not be afraid. I know that what I am telling you is frightening. I know that it sounds like a doomsday prophecy. I know that it sounds like bad news. But it is not all bad news. The good news is that God is still in control. The good news is that His mercy is available. The good news is that we have been given a weapon, and that weapon is prayer. Jesus showed me that prayer works. He showed me that the prayers of righteous people can make a difference. He showed me that intercessors can stand in the gap and change the outcome of events. This is not something I made up. This is not something I am guessing about. This is what He showed me. So please do not give in to fear. Instead, be motivated to action. Let this message drive you to prayer. Let this warning push you to seek God's face. Let this revelation cause you to call out to God and ask Him to protect our nation and to turn back the plans of evil. I have given you the information. I have delivered the message. I have done what I was called to do. Now it is your turn. Now it is up to you to take this seriously and to act on it. May God bless you and guide you. May God give you courage. May God open your eyes to the reality of the spiritual world around you. May God motivate you to prayer and to intercession. May God protect you and your family from the evil that is coming. And may God use your prayers to change the course of history and to save lives. This is my testimony. This is what I have been given to share. This is the warning from God. May you take it seriously. May you respond with prayer. May you stand in the gap. May you intercede for our nation. The time is running out. The time is now. The time to seek God is now. The time to prepare is now. Do not wait. Do not delay. Do not put this off until later. Do it now tonight. Tomorrow morning at 3 a.m, be on your knees in prayer. This is the message. This is the warning. This is the word of the Lord given through me to you. May you receive it with the seriousness that it deserves. May you understand that this is a matter of life and death. May you respond with faith and with action. God bless you.